Yeah, I feel like we kind of expected, or maybe Greatsword, as much as the small percentile Twitter population complained about it, we're making it seem like it was unbeatable, right? Or taking over the entire scene here. And Zelchy, another one of those Greatsword players. Now, granted, in terms of this top 8 and this bracket in general, there weren't too many that made it super far. Like Luna did pretty well. Then we have Zelchy here. But we're going to see how... Wow, he must be lucky. He got the role for the esports colors for Jaehyun.
There's only like 3 today, right? That's it. Wow.
Crazy.
That's well, I mean, it's obviously why he had to make it in the top 8 to show that off, right? Anything else, anything less would have not be worth it. Going to Small Brawlhalla for game number 1, Zelchy versus Do, Thor versus Jaehyun. And yeah, as you were talking about, Greatsword definitely the flavor of the month in terms of what a lot of players are picking up and what a lot of players are talking about. But much to my surprise as well as yours, the top 8 for this last chance qualifier hasn't been as Greatsword filled as players may have expected. In fact, we're seeing a lot more of those lower percentage characters, like the ones that we see a lot less in tournament play. The people that dedicate themselves to them are the ones that are actually succeeding the most, and that is very interesting to me as far as the last chance qualifier goes. Now going into game number 1 of Small Brawlhalla, we got Do on the Thor fighting against Zelchy. Thor is pretty interesting for me to see. Nice side stick from Zelchy taking first stock, but Thor is one of those characters that for a while, unless I'm watching like Europe, I guess, watching Simple, I kind of consider Thor more of a doubles character than a singles character, so it's cool seeing him primary that into the game of 1.
Yeah, and Thor kind of gives into the thought process, because there's a lot of people, myself included, who think Orb is, y'all looking at Greatsword right now, but the moment that gets touched, Orb is going to be the next thing everyone's going to be talking about, because it is crazy, especially into Greatsword. It's one of the hardest matchups that Greatsword has to deal with. This guy, Orb, Bow, and then, sometimes you can have a little bit of difficulty with Spear if they're playing it one way. But so far, Do, able to do it.
And interesting that you mentioned that, is that I have been seeing that like slight chatter amongst different pro circles where it's just kind of like, guys, why is nobody talking about Orb? Isn't this like weapon amazing? And it's kind of always been good. Why does nobody play it? And I feel like a little bit of that has to come from. Oh wow, yeah, that was
as
crazy.
you were saying.
A little bit that has to come from some of the weapon combinations, perhaps. But yeah, I like that you bring up that point. Like, it'll be interesting to see how Orb develops in the coming months. But so far, Do getting that cider brings it back. And I mean, he was an entire stock and a half behind, it felt like, at the start of this match. And now is a stock ahead over Zelchy as he just really tightened up on that hammer.
Yeah, I think Zelchy, because Zelchy got the dodge read with the neutral light and needed to go into like D light, S light, or like D light, N light. And then went into side light by accident, and I think was like, crap, what am I supposed to do now? Because he didn't execute properly, because he should be the one with the lead here. But here we go. Actually doing pretty well now. Tries to side like that, but you're going to see that a lot versus Greatsword. People are going to kind of hover and then spot dodge in a spot where they expect Greatsword to swing. Zelchy going for the fake stuff, but it's working. Let's go.
I mean, it looks real cool, though. It's like what every Greatsword player likes to break out the first time that they learn how to actually cancel the bridge. But
yeah.
You tip of that side air.
But there's like...
Oh, does he have to jump swing it back? Gone. No. Yeah. Nice ground pound from Do. I think he may have been able to drift into the stage, but that was a great ground pound coverage. No move on the Greatsword's fast enough to be able to react to that in time. And Zelchy goes down in game number 1 as Do does a great job of bringing back what was originally a deficit going into that game.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like, right there, we saw Zelchy, like, drop that punish. There's, like... for Greatsword, there are... right, non-jumpable strings, right? And of course, at this point, we've kind of optimized which strings to do for each punish that people just cannot escape no matter what they do. And Zelchy hit a string there before where there's actually, like, a 1-frame jump window, which, like, online... you don't expect people to hit, but Do, I guess, must have been mashing that button, dude. I was like, wow, you got out of that, because he was going for a kind of a fake 5-hit combo off the starter, but was unable to get it. But Zelchy, still looking good here. Well, maybe not right now. Do kind of got his number. I don't know. We'll see.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned that, and it could be a matter of dudes just actually training so hard against a legion of JMs that may have been coming against him either in customs for practice or in the ranked ladder, to where he's like, I've seen this enough to know how I should be reacting to this, and it's going to take a little bit more innovative play from JM when you get past the bread and butter great sword strings and combos to be able to take more stocks off of Do. Nice. And that's a good start as he's able to get an entire 6 hits it off of that sideline finisher. Went for the down air afterwards, and the down air will hit after Do misses the nair. A great stock in return as Zelchy was honestly looking pretty rough before that happened.
I have no complaints about that punish. That punish was optimal. So you got that one, Zelchy. Let's go. All right.
Ooh, down air. Nice.
Yeah, give me your dodge.
Goes for these pivot neutralite openers as well. He's been catching Do a lot with that. That time he didn't do, going off, fading away from the opener from Zelchy, but that time catching him, and that might be it. No, the neutralite finisher doesn't hit, but the recovery on the way. Zelchy's just kind of like, I'm just trying to make it back to stage, man. What are you doing?
I do.
Ends up just taking the stocks.
Zelchy is mashing, but I like it because it's like clear. Oh man, but Zelchy almost got the clip there. Ooh. Hold on, Do, what you got for an answer for that? You see, when he goes for that reverse neutralite, he's looking for that dodge up. Dude's not giving it to him.
Oh, went for the jump read and doesn't get it twice in a
Nice.
row. Expected Zelchy maybe to get a little. Oh wow, okay, that was great. That's like a complete complete opposite of what we just saw in the last game, where Do was behind and then got the 2-stock on the return. This time Zelchy just really locking in to getting some really solid strings on the greatsword to be able to get those stocks, and then the great edge guarding from him as well. Excellent play. Do not switching off the legend as we go into game number 3.
Okay.
And Small Brawlhaven surprisingly banned out, despite the record there being even at the moment.
So he gets the recovery. Yeah, man. You do not want to try to, like, I don't know, jump off stage versus greatsword before they use recovery, right? Like, you want to be so high up that there's no way it can touch you, because otherwise.
I mean, greatsword recovery is an amazing finishing move on its own right? So it's just like you're absolutely correct about that. It's just like wait for them to use the move first at least before you jump out there, because if they're already in the middle of using it, it's got a little bit of deceptive start, and then it just lurches upwards, and it'll take you straight off the top of the map. Now getting a nice damage lead at the start here, but Zelchy has been doing great off stage with the greatsword down air, hitting Do as he's been trying to go for these neutral airs on his way back to the stage. Now both of them find themselves unarmed. Will he sidelight him away? No, he picks up the orb. Sidelight Cider will send him off the stage. One more of those would definitely take the stock, and Zelchy low on jumps. Oh, he gravity gets a sidelight to the stage. That was interesting. I feel like dodge would have been just fine, but maybe a little bit faster to sidelight? I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes people do it for like a timing mix-up too, just in case somebody comes off stage with like a ground pound or like a D-light. You can just kind of like say, hey, I want to be in this spot for a little while longer before I touch the stage. But Zelchy, honestly, he's doing all right. I'm actually very impressed with. Nice attempt for the string there. Zelchy just not quite able to get the final blow there that may have KO'd just because of how hard that hits.
Yeah, the recovery came very close to be able to do it. And the side 6 slightly charged punished the spot dodge from Zelchy and disarmed him. Now narrowing him away. The next weapon he's going to pick up is a sword, and he doesn't even allow it to happen. As he said, recovery, he tries to jab him all the way at the top. Zelchy with the gravity cancel down light picks up. Did he pick up a weapon before getting side aired? I didn't see.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
We'll see what the next weapon spawn is. Yeah.
Okay, he did. Or didn't. I don't know. This is 3 stocks to 1. On Miami Dome. Dude,
smoke.
Playing
oh my gosh.
Good jump read. Oh, he is just boxing Zelchy off the stage. Zelchy can't get any of these great sort of starters going. And I feel like the way this matchup's been going is either Zelchy hits his stride or he spends 2 minutes getting beat up the entire game.
Zelchy who? Like, Do is not even making Zelchy look like a problem right now. And that gravity cancel down stick from Zelchy is a nice start. But you got some work to be done here, and you don't have a greatsword in hand. And Do, saying black power, baby. And then we back in it. Okay, fight for your rights, man. And we back.
Yeah, a little bit of intermission there from both of the players. And the double neutral air. Okay, Do, I guess like that Zelchy, I don't know. The way Zelchy's been playing, I feel like despite that kind of looking like, all right, you get this one, we'll move on to the next game. If he takes the stock off of Do, okay, Cider gets it. But like if he takes the stock off of Do, he picks up a great sword. That could just be a stock in a moment. I mean, the damage differential there is just
622 to 263. That's a lot of damage to make up for. And Still hypercritical of Zelchy because some stuff he does perfect, other stuff he lets the damage get away. Like if you cast a job, the dodge with end light, just D-light, bro. Just D-light. Don't go for this side light and then have the question mark show up when he jumps out. Just take your damage where you can.
There was not very much use of the D-light in general, I suppose.
Yeah, you don't really see him slide, you know?
Bridge. Yeah. So he, I think, is agreeing with you because he switched over to the Garnet going into game number 4. So we've got Gauntlets and Orb. Orb Ditto happening in this best of 5 as they're carefully deciding what map they want to go to. It is going to be Duke deciding, and I think he's trying to be like, do I really want to go back to Brawlhaven? Or should I go to Mammoth Fortress? That's what I feel like the conversation that's going on in his head is. And he takes the risk. He goes back to Brawlhaven, which currently is 1-1 between these two players on the stage. But it is match point in favor of Dew.
Yeah, and I think for Dew's probably thinking, because the fear of Brawlhaven in general is like, okay, it's a small stage, I'm going to die early, right? And then that gets like horribly exacerbated by the fact that Greatsword just KOs ridiculously early on its own. So you're like, man, I don't want to be on a stage with no platforms against a weapon that can do that. But against like Gauntlets and Orb, it's like, oh my, hold on, you got smoke, kid. One more grab.
He's got it.
No,
it's done.
He did it to the wrong side. It's to the wrong side. Oh, you out here, yo, Dew the man here, man.
Yeah, see that dash jump, pivot down air, ground pound weapon throw to get his Zelchy off. He's still going. I mean, okay, Zelchy finally picks up a weapon. He gets neutral light away, and he puts out the down stick, trying to catch Zelchy, hovered off the right side of the stage. Can't find it, but man, it has been destruction from Dew over Zelchy so far. That down air hitting neutral light, catches the landing, puts out the neutral stick in the other direction. I don't know why, but I mean, at that point.
Okay, that's an answer.
Okay, Zelchy, fight back.
That's an answer.
Man, when Zelchy does get something to connect, he takes it all the way, and it works almost every time. So that's something that I've been liking from his playstyle. It's just he's not winning neutral 90% of the time.
That's the issue, right? Like when we look at the stats for probably damage per engagement, I can only imagine that when Zelchy gets the hit, probably gets a good chunk of damage after that, right? But getting the hit is where he's been struggling so much. Gets a sidelight Sayers, not enough to KO. Thor with that defense gonna make him get hit one more time. Oh no, not like this, Zelchy. Come on. Okay, we living.
Makes it back, but yeah, you don't want to be 3-stocked in a. There we go. Okay, now it's comeback time. Zelchy is like, all right, I've been warming up. Garnet's ready to go. Dew, he's gonna take him down. He's on the gauntlets now. He's gotta keep him off a weapon. I mean, he could. It's small Brawlhaven. Anything's possible. Ground pound hits. Doesn't get the nair afterwards. Dew does get a little extra damage in. But Zelchy's doing a good job so far. He just can't really, like, for every hit he takes, he has to land like 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's Thor as well. Thor is pretty beefy.
Okay, and that's it. Just a neutral light, and that feels bad, right? Because granted, getting a long conversion off of neutral light can be pretty difficult. But Zelchy is kind of hitting the danger zone now. Stomp Sayer is enough, and Dew is going to go ahead and knock Zelchy out of the tournament with this Thor. And honestly, a very convincing past 2 games, right? Like, I'd say, aside from that one game that Zelchy was able to win, like, look at this. Dew, off the wall, boom, weapon throw, and Zelchy just, I don't know, he had to have meant to do it to the left. Like, there's no way he didn't, but...
Yeah, well, I could see the thought of, like, maybe he thought the neutral stick would get caught underneath the stage, so he went to the right, thought he could drift to the side air, but I think you're right. I think it was just a matter of pivoting it incorrectly, and Dew takes it pretty convincingly over Zelchy.